Hi everyone, my name is Laura Holly and this is Pedagogo Reviews, reviewing albums and EPs from popular, old school, lesser known and independent artists. Today I'll be looking at the artist YaDi and her EP Guillotine, which was released on the 14th of April this year through Warner Music. Now YaDi, full name Hannah YaDi, is a female singer-songwriter from London who's had comparisons to Marina and the Diamonds, Paloma Faith and Alison Goldfrapp. When I first heard her I thought she sounded like Florence and the Machine, so I'm just throwing that into the mix as well. Guillotine is driven by pounding drums and YaDi's vocals, which I think sound slightly European at times, possibly due to her Algerian, Norwegian and Italian heritage, or maybe just because that's how she sings. Either way, I enjoyed the track, so I had a look around YouTube for some of her other tracks and then listened to the EP preview on iTunes before purchasing it for a mere £1.99. There are 4 tracks on the Guillotine EP: Guillotine, Sahara Heart, Gold and Paper Rose, and YaDi's vocals and lyrics lead this army of melodic electronic sounds and piano that seep into the melodies. There is a theme that runs throughout the EP, and that is having lots of percussion and tribal sounding drums. It's not to say that it makes every song sound the same, as each song has its own melody and catchy tune and its own depth, but I think the drums can overpower these elements at times. So, as there are only 4 tracks, I'll give you a rundown of each song whilst it plays in the background, and we'll start with Guillotine, which is a very good start. Guillotine is a punch in the face. It's filled with confidence, mostly from the lyrics, with stuff like "You fall like a guillotine and kneel before the queen, don't try to deny me, and I can make you love me." So it's basically YaDi just forcing herself upon your ears. I like to look at it as a diss track to her musical contemporaries. You know how a lot of hip-hop artists come out being like, "I'm the best rapper in the world, you can't touch my lyrical flow, it's on another level." That's like Guillotine, obviously not as cocky, but it's probably something to get you pumped up before you do something important, like an exam. I say exam because I don't want to say fight and condone violence, that's silly. But that's the kind of song that I feel like it is. I doubt it is actually a diss track, don't take that literally, that's just how I hear it. The second track is Sahara Heart, and although it starts with marching drums that continue throughout the verses, I mostly think of it as a song that's dragging its bassy feet as it tries to make its way across a desert. In fact, when I hear the song, a little video plays out in my head, and let me tell you about that whilst the song's playing in the background. So it's about a woman who gets banished from her Egyptian town, her hometown, and has to make her way across the desert to find somewhere to live. And as the song goes on, she gets closer and closer to dying of dehydration and starvation, until eventually, when the song ends, she passes out. She doesn't die, she just passes out. There'll be no death in my video. YaDi reveals some fragility and vulnerability in this track, not only through her lyrics, but through the cracks and squeaks in her voice. Hand in hand, her and the dragging bass create this longing and desperate atmosphere. It's almost as if she's actually in the Sahara, and it makes you want to throw some water at your speakers and hope that it will reach her and help her out. But as dreary as I make it sound, this is actually my favourite track on the EP, alongside the third track, Gold. You know, some songs have that moment that give you a tingle or give you goosebumps and make you go, "Yeah!" in a good way, and you like the song, but you really just listen to it for that moment, and if anyone interrupts that moment, then you want to slap them around the face. This song does that for me. In the chorus, there's a chord change, and it goes with the melody so well that I'm just like, oh yes. And that is the main reason why I listen to the song. I really like the song generally, but that's the main reason I listen to it. The only part I'm not really fussed about in Gold is the middle 8. It just seems like a bit of a filler moment, but otherwise it's a track that's executed with mystery and sexy desperation, and I'm hoping that if you hear it you'll understand what I mean by sexy desperation, because it just sounds a bit creepy. The final track is Paper Rose, and whenever I hear this song I know that there's something I like about it, but I can't really remember what it is. It's my least favourite of the 4, but it does have my favourite moment of the whole EP, which is this. Again, it's lots of drums and has the same vulnerability as Sahara Heart. It's not very memorable, but it's a good way to end the EP. So these 4 tracks certainly leave me wanting to hear more from YaDi. Besides the tribal drum theme that plays its way throughout the EP, I think these are 4 very different tracks, and YaDi is, well, to me she seems like a really good singer-songwriter and vocalist, so I'll be interested to see if any of her other tracks have this drum theme in them as well, or if she goes for something different. I just want to see what she has to offer, basically. So I give the Guillotine EP a 4 out of 5, and just a couple of suggestions. I would say listen to this at high volume, high but safe, but through like speakers or loudly in your earphones, not enough to damage your ears. but it's not something to listen to whilst you're just plodding along with your earphones at volume level 3. And also, you know how some artists and songs just give you that winter dark feeling? This is one of those artists that do it for me, so I would suggest listening to it at night time in cold weather. That sounds kind of ridiculous, and obviously you can do whatever you like with it, but that's just my suggestion. I would strongly suggest purchasing this EP as it's only $1.99 on iTunes, and although there's no word of a YaDi album coming out and there aren't any live dates on her website, in the description box below I have posted YaDi's official website where you can keep up to date with everything that's going on with her, and also I posted a link to her YouTube page where you can see a couple of her videos and everything like that. So thanks for watching Pedagogo Reviews. On Monday I'll be reviewing Taylor Swift's latest album, Red, which I'm really looking forward to. To catch up on this week's reviews of Ellie Goulding's Halcyon and Michelle Branch's Hotel Paper, you can see the description box below where I posted the links to those videos. And to keep up to date with Pedagogo Reviews, just subscribe. But for now, have a good weekend and I will see you on Monday.